Ayo, ayo, ayo. Hello. Real quick, I don't even know if you can hear me yet, but I am going to check the audio or find a way to check it. Let me see. Let me see. It might sound okay. Might sound crazy. Okay, I think we're good. I'm not going to touch it. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the cord or the freaking stream thing or whatever, but hopefully you guys can hear me. Hopefully. We're going to give it a minute. I'm going to arrange some things really fast. Yay! Oh my gosh, that audio last time was driving me up the wall. Up the wall. Okay. There it is. Okay. Today, everything is alleged in our opinion only. First, today is Mandy, my bestie's birthday. So we want, no touchy. That should be a life lesson. No touchy. Today is Mandy's birthday. So we are going to play her something that I think is freaking hilarious. Let me know if you can hear it.
Happy birthday, Grandma. You rock so much. You are so
Oh, come on.
cool.
Oh,
like yes. I'm glad.
Happy birthday, Mandy.
Happy birthday, Grandma. You.
That thing cracks me up. But now there's like fire trucks and ambulance and police outside. So I don't know what's going on. That's a crazy day. Happy birthday, Mandy. Fun fact, today is also Charles Manson's birthday. Yes, it is. Why do I know that? I don't know. Happy birthday, Mandy. So I wanted to do like, yeah, I noticed that, Andalion. Andalion says it must be your cords because when you played with it the last time, it was kind of cutting in and out. I went back and actually watched the live, which I don't normally do, but I wanted to see what was wrong with the audio. And I noticed when I would mess with the cords, it would kind of go in and out, like you said. So yeah, it could be just the cord. Hopefully that would be nice. Thank you, on top X. XXXXS. Thank you so much. Shiba dog happily massaging his cheeks with mouth wide open. Hi, Christina. Thank you so much. Hello, everybody. I hope everybody's having a wonderful hump day. It's been wild for me. It's been a strange day, but that's okay. We'll take it. All right. So I've been super digging into just today, and I want to keep doing it. And I've been making a spreadsheet because that's what I do apparently now. And I've been digging into Kopacka, and I want to learn literally everything about him, every single person that's related to him, where they're from, what they do, and every single person that's related to them or that they associate with. So that's what I've been starting with today. I feel like there's more to Kopacka. I've always felt that way, but I've never dug super deep into it other than like kind of just on his background a little bit and stuff. I don't have a lot yet. I did just start making the spreadsheet and it's pretty detailed. So I do want to keep going on this path just in my brain, but a few things I wanted to share that you guys might already know. They're just super small details, but they're details from so long ago that you might not remember it or you might not have heard it because back then a lot of people weren't hearing some of the little think. I know some of them I don't remember. It could just be because I don't freaking remember, but so yay, Beauty for Ashes. I'm so glad to see you. Okay, so I wanted to play. It is a good deep dive, and I think some people have or started to. I just don't remember seeing anything like super intense on all of the people he knows and all the people they know, and like the tie, just like an officer is married to a such and such that works at the police station and their brother-in-law, like that. I want to dig into that. So first, I wanted to play this, and I had a question. I'm sure you guys have seen it because it's by True Crime Design, but I had a question on one of the people in this video. I should probably share the screen before I play it because that's what you should do. Wait. You guys hear the sirens? Okay, I'm going to play this. Hopefully you can hear it.
Just across the hall from Kohberger's Pullman, Washington apartment lives Christian Martinez.
Does anybody know Christian Martinez? I don't know why I don't remember him. And I know he made a statement on Bryan Kohberger, but
Kohberger may have had a fascination with death or killing.
One thing that stuck out was
if you notice he has a tattoo, I can't find any pictures of him anywhere. Hold on. One second. Okay, can you hear me? Is it okay? Hi, Bunny. Hi, Bunny. I'm checking the audio on the other end of YouTube. I think it's okay. It sounds okay to me. Right? I have actual sirens. I have the fire truck and ambulance pull up just for me. Okay, so okay, sounds like everything's okay. I'm going to try not to bump it either. I don't know what's going on. So this guy just noticed that he had seeing him before. I tried to dig into him, but there's not very much information on him. He lives right next to, right across from Bryan Kohberger. I noticed he has a neck tattoo. Now, I do know a channel in the past said they figured out who the tattoo guy on the Harley was that was talking with Bryan Kohberger one day when his neighbors pulled up. They walked in. They said Bryan Kohberger and this tatted up Harley guy stopped talking. When they were out of yacht, they started talking again. And then the guy just rode off on his Harley, never to be seen before or again. I'm wondering because I don't remember who they dug into or if they even dug into anybody, but I thought somebody found a name that it could possibly be for the Harley guy. But then again, I don't remember the name or the channel or whatever. So I was looking at this guy and I'm like, well, he's got a pretty large tattoo. I wonder if he has sleeves. I wonder if this is just his neighbor and has a Harley. Maybe he didn't pull up on the Harley, but just left on the Harley. Hi, Carol. This guy's name is Christian Martinez. I just don't know if you guys remember hearing about him or not, but I'll keep playing this short really quick. I'm going to let it play times so I cannot talk during it.
It was kind of like on the subject of what it would take to take someone's life. It was kind of like he was trying to see my perspective on, I guess, taking someone's life.
WSU has released the name of the officer who shot and killed a man threatening to kill his two roommates earlier this month. The school says Police Sergeant Bray Boyd killed a 36-year-old named Brent Kopacka in an off-campus apartment. Boyd is currently...
Look at this weapon, though. I know it's on its little kickstand thing. I don't know much about pew-pews, but it has the little kickstand thing. And the butt end of it caught my attention. It looks very similar to the picture I always play or used to play of the butt end of a pew-pew that has stripes on it that could leave a striped wound on somebody's face had they, blunt force trauma'd their face. Yes, this is the neighbor. Yes. Yes, for sure it's the neighbor. I think he's directly across from Kohberger or was directly across from. I'm just not sure. Or is this the neighbor that saw him with somebody else? Is that what you guys are saying? Because I don't remember this guy's name. Maybe that's why, because I don't have a story to attach his name to. I just have the story from before. Did you, Mandy? You just went on a Kopacka deep dive? I just find it intriguing, especially that just said his name or started to say his name. I feel like there's a connection. I feel like we can find out more of the connection. There's probably a connection. Why else would he be unalived, 2 weeks or 3 weeks after the crime? And it totally staged. But yeah, look at this.
Just across the
never
hall
mind.
from
Yeah,
Koberger's
thank you.
Pullman, Washington apartment.
I thought was interesting because Dylan describes the whole triangle looking thing at the bottom. I don't know. It caught my attention.
Lives Christian Martinez.
Do you guys know if that's just a neighbor, or is that the neighbor that said he saw Bryan Kohberger talking to somebody? No. I thought of that too, Fizzy. I wonder if Kopacka is tatted and drives a bike. So I was looking for Kopacka pictures today, and I meant to make a little slide thingy for it, but I forgot. And when I was looking at Kopacka's pictures, if you guys go and do it, look up Kopacka's army picture or military picture, whatever it was, and compare it to his picture from like more recent before he passed, like as an older guy. Like the eyebrow shape isn't even the same. I think the top lip is the same. Like, it's weird to me. It doesn't look like him. And then I go down the whole conspiracy thing. Like, how do we not have very many pictures of even Bryan Kohberger growing up? We have what, 3, maybe at best? I think that's strange too. But yeah, Fizzy, I thought of that. I wonder if Kopacka has arm tattoos and drives a Harley, because that would be interesting, right? So yeah, I'm doing this super, super deep dive on Kopacka. So I did want to talk about some things. Now, being that this guy's last name, the neighbor guy, his name is Christian Martinez. Again, everything's alleged in our opinion. Yeah. Dang, I should have played that, Glenn. Brent's neighbors have an interview too. I should have played that. That's okay. So I came across this document. Now, I don't think it's really has anything to do with much of anything, but I did find it interesting. I'm going to share this. I found it interesting just because, first of all, I found it because of the name. Let's see. Let me share it. I might know about this. It's old. I don't remember. Is it this one? No, it's this. Oh, this one. Okay. Gone and share. Okay. This is a supplemental narrative from Pullman Police Department. This is 2019. There's a bunch of defendants attached with it. And the summary of the facts is on 11/12/2019. So one day previous to the crime rather than, 3 years apart. But Pullman police responded to 710 Northeast Linden Street in Pullman at a fraternity for the report of an unattended death. The person who passed away was Samuel Martinez. His date of birth is 10/3/2000. Reportedly drinking across the street at the fraternity's live out last night. Another person located Martinez this morning and started CPR. The room where Martinez was located had several couches, chairs, and garbage cans. There was what appeared to be vomit on the floor near a couch on the north side of the room. Martinez was on the floor next to a couch on the east side room. Simon Stiles came down to the chapter room and explained he just wanted to see Martinez. He was asked if there was a special house occasion. He said not really, but hesitated. He said it was big night. They had their biggers. It's a type of mentor relationship, blah, 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 blah. It says Stiles didn't know where Martinez was most of the night, but assumed Martinez was with his big brother, but wouldn't say who Martinez's big brother was. He said the event was in the basement. There were no signs of trauma on Martinez's body. Martinez had what looked like a long scratch on his right hand and wrist. It also appeared there was an imprint on Martinez's caused by his pants waistband, Why are his pants down around his thighs? It's not funny. Martinez was transported to the funeral home in a locked bag. Do you guys remember this? This was obviously a frat thing, but I don't know how they can say he doesn't have trauma, but then says they have, he has a big scratch on his arm and wrist, maybe from, who knows, defensive something. It just grabbed my attention because of the last name. I don't remember hearing about this. And obviously it's a fraternity thing. And obviously everybody keeps their mouth shut with fraternities. I just found it a little bit strange. And apparently his pants were around his thighs. I don't remember this, but it was 11/12 of 2019. I just found the date interesting as well. There's more to it. There's more details in it. It doesn't really connect other than the fact that it's a fraternity. We know that there's been quite a few accidental fraternity unalivings. So I just found it weird. Sorry, it's actually really, really long. I found it in the Pullman dailyevergreen.com for Pullman's report. Yeah. I don't notice any of the names. I don't think, but I want to look into those too, just in case. I know it's 3 years prior, but you never know. Did he fall out of a window into a tree? Cause of death, it says basically OD from alcohol, I guess. I haven't read the whole document. I just found it kind of strange why you would have like a noticeable long arm and wrist. It says he drank half a bottle of rum, or that they told him. Yeah, that's pretty much just says alcohol intoxication. Strange. I just thought I'd share since I don't remember hearing about it. What else did I have over here? Oh, yeah. This is interesting too. I found this while I was digging. It's on Substack, and it's actually from a year ago. Let me see if I can share this page too. Okay. This is Kopacka, possibly at the scene of the hit and run. Do you guys remember there was a hit and run out of Berger's apartment on 1113 on Brandy Way next to Pimlico Apartments? I knew that, and I always thought, well, maybe we'd be able to see Bryan Kohberger pulling out of the apartment complex or even just driving by or around on body cam from the hit and run accident. Yeah, it is ironic. The hit and run was the person who did it. Her name was Carmen Fernandez or Hernandez. She was 19. She hit a girl named Caitlin Venner and Hunter Wagner. I looked into to see if there was any connection anywhere, but I didn't get really far with it. So this hit and run was outside of Bryan Kohberger's apartment that night. But what I found interesting about this post was there is a person that shows up on body cam. It's this person, and I know it's kind of probably small for you guys, but the beneath is Brent Kopacka. Does that look like Brent Kopacka to you guys? Because it looks very similar to me. Yeah, you're right. Last 24, they had wondered if Bryan could even get back in or back out. I just thought because of that, we would have been able to see exactly when Bryan Kohberger left. I thought it was close enough. I wasn't able to see anything or to tell, in the body camera to see Bryan Kohberger pull out or pull in. I really was hoping that we could, but nada. But doesn't this look like Brent Kopacka up here on body cam outside of the, right where the hit and run was. Strange. Very, very strange. That's it for that one. Had you guys seen that? You don't think it is translucent? Oh, was it you, Translucent, who had the name of the person possibly that had tattoos and Kate pulled up in a Harley and was talking to Brent Kopacka outside his apartment on the steps? Was it you that had the name? I can't remember if somebody had the name or was really close to it. It was a while ago. The hit and run was at 11:30 at night. You didn't hit and run or know it was that happened? Proposal for the restitution or what? Nope. I haven't even looked up Brent Kopacka today. I probably should. Did she? Maybe that's where I heard it. No, it wasn't you, Translucent? Okay. Yeah, Kopacka is a hard one to figure out, Christina says, because he's been scrubbed from the internet. It's really difficult to find any pictures or literally anything. Like, he had a whole Facebook page. You would think there would be some residue of him on the internet, and there's really not. There's not a whole lot. So it did say they hit a fire hydrant, but apparently they also hit 2 people. Hunter Wagner and I just said her name. Venner, Caitlin Venner. Oh, did he move? Brent Kopacka got moved again? Oh, I didn't see. Oh, hey, AR. I hope you are doing well. Hope everything's good and okay. That's right, Mandy, that's a really good thought that if we could find Brent Kopacka on, behind in the body cam, because they were out there pretty much all night with this incident, I thought we might be able to see him leave and come back. Yeah, I wanted to see if he had the same clothes on or what times he actually left. I don't know. I might look again. Oh my God, I usually drink cold coffee out of this, and I just took a drink and it's hot and I forgot. That was hot. Tommy. Wait, what? Hold on. What? Tommy Jude? I was just gonna reach out to him too. Are you for real? Oh my gosh. That's so sad. Oh, I did not know that. I don't even have words right now. That's really sad. He was so, so sweet. Wow. Do you happen to know Translucent? What was going on? I'm sure you don't want to. Yeah, Once Upon a Crime Time. Here, we'll pull him up. It's really, 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 really sad. Wow. Oh, this has not been a good day. I try to play it off, but that just topped it. That makes me sad. Yeah, Tommy Jude is really, really kind to me, especially when I first started. He would show my content all the time. So that's that. He was very, very sweet. And here, anybody who doesn't know Once Upon a Crime Time with Tommy Jude, this is him. Yep. Absolutely. He's very, very loved. Lung cancer. Oh, do you know that for sure, or just because he chain smoked on his episodes? Tommy Jude. Yeah, let's take a minute for Tommy, okay? See if he has the shorts I can play.
How many murder scenes do you see, red rum scenes, do you see that the police stay there until it's tore down? I mean, usually they do their investigation, they put up crime tape, and they're gone and they're out of there. They don't have someone sitting there watching the place to make sure that, nobody goes in there. It's just weird. I've never seen it before. I've never seen that before. I mean, to actually hire a police officer or a security officer to sit there and watch the house. How many murder scenes do you see, red rum scenes?
Yeah, I know he said something about the hospital. I messaged him just, a quick message. Wow. All right, guys. Well, that sucks. Dang. Yeah, thanks, Tommy. He was awesome. Somebody had an interesting thought. I'm going to show the sheath again because you know how I am with this dang sheath. Maybe. Okay. I don't know if you guys can see the spatter on it. Yeah, you really can't. Let me see if I can move it. Maybe a little bit. Like I can see it a little bit now. I still think it's coming from one place. And I found an interesting comment. While I was trying to figure out my audio and watching the live, I saw a comment come across that I missed. So, uno momento, por favor. Where did I put? Okay, so it was by Leslie Smitherman. Yeah, Smitherman 2866. The comment was the pew pew spatter on the knife sheath could be Kopacka's when they unalived him and planted the sheath. And there's your unknown male DNA. But they knew that. That's why they didn't test it. I never thought of that. And I thought that was really an interesting thought because I didn't think of that. Hey, Top, how are you? He became a that's funny. I didn't at the very end, I know he said something about the hospital. I messaged him, but I wasn't really on YouTube those like 2.5 weeks or 3 weeks or whatever it was. Yeah, virtual hugs, everybody. Don't take people for granted. Treat everybody kindly. Do the things you say you're going to do. All the life things. Be good. Be good. Life is short. Oh. Yes, Moto, you're talking about that it could have been Kopacka's. I didn't come up with it. I just saw the comment and it caught my attention and I was like, no freaking way. How did I not even think of that? I don't know why my brain separates the Kopacka and the Brian Koberger stuff. It does, but then somewhere I feel it's intertwined still. So I still keep trying to Kopacka just stays on my mind. I feel like there's something there and I don't know why. I did not think of this at all, but it was an awesome thought. I'd never thought of that. If this knife sheath was actually where Kopacka was, and what's strange is when you read the Kopacka information, I feel like I get two completely different stories. It's very strange. Yes, life can change very fast. Appreciate everybody and man, that sucks. Sorry, guys. I agree. I think that's very, very possible. For some reason, I have thought the sheath was pretty much planted. It sounds ridiculous that it would have what it has on it, yet they didn't follow up with it. They're trying to say the sample was too small. If the sample was too small, why couldn't you do the same thing that you did with Brian Koberger's and manipulate it to make it bigger? Yes, I'm not understanding. I also don't know DNA. Like I say, it was just an interesting thought. I don't see a spatter or fluid or anything from different or 4 different sources here. To me, it looks like one. Like it's the same, I don't know, spatter. You okay, AR? Yeah, I'm starting to think, not think, but just like kind of look into the option of, could it really have been Kaylee in Xana's room? Because all things they're saying, that's what it's saying. Dylan thought for sure it was Kaylee. Now Hunter says he checked the pulse, but it was Kaylee's red fluid on his hands. He said he didn't go upstairs at all. Now the dark-haired person in the window, although could still be a perpetrator, was it Xana upstairs? Like, it's strange. And then those Doc Martens were in the living room. I was reading documents today. Some of the documents say that Kaylee was dancing in the living room. Some of the documents say Kaylee was dancing on the 3rd floor. Like, all the stories are just, we already knew this, but it's like, to continue to read it in black and white blows my mind. That anybody can look at this and say, yep, this was a completely perfect investment. They got the guy that it was, the end. Yeah, I could imagine that AR's having a tough time. My heart goes out to everybody. Witchy says, the knife that was pulled from the outdoor wooden slats at a Pullman apartment complex, do we know who lives there? Was that knife tested? Is that the knife? There were so many different knives. I feel like they did that in a sense to try and confuse us. Remember, there was like a knife in a ditch and a knife tape wrapped around it, a knife at an apartment complex, like just random knives freaking everywhere, apparently. I don't remember who lived there or if I even knew who lived there. Let me look into that, because now I want to know the exact location. I think it's in a report. Let me write it down 1 second. Weren't there some knives that were buried somewhere that they dug up? Who lived there and was it tested? I would assume it was not tested. We can't even get the freaking DNA tested. Let's see. I missed a comment that I want to see. Okay, as what's strange is that Dylan knew it was Kaylee in Xana's room the whole time. I can prove it with text messages. The text messages between Dylan and Bethany. Let me see if I can pull them up and you can walk us through it. Let's see. I mean, Dylan thought or knew, I guess, because the way she states it is that she knew in her mind it was Kaylee in Xana's room the whole time, for sure. She said that over and over and over. And that's why then the reports read wrong for a while, or not a while, but you know what I mean? There were several reports that said Kaylee was in Xana's room, that it was Kaylee in there and not Xana. Which, if that's true, think of then the domino effects it has on all the information. Then does that mean the person on the 3rd floor had extensive wounds and it was Kaylee? Because according to the families, they didn't see the bodies. They don't know. They're just going off what they're told. They don't have any documentation, apparently, according to them, that says what the injuries actually were. The detailed injuries. So they were just told that it was Kaylee on the 3rd floor and that she was the one that had her face and head and all that and teeth and everything. So if it actually truly is the other way around, that changes everything. And I'm wondering how, if we change things, how much different details would we with when we dig into it, looking at it that way? Yes. Crazy says, does anyone remember the student from the college club said his group had a camera set up pointing at 1122 back door? It was very early on. Yes, on a tripod, right? Let me take this down 1 second. Maybe. Yeah, it was on a tripod, right? For that story. It went on for like what? A couple of weeks or a week or something that was said. That's what I'm wondering, Carol. I'm wondering if the story is exactly what Dylan says it is and they have it backwards, because it just, how does, either they're completely trying to throw us off with saying it was Kaylee's red fluid on the table from Hunter's fingers, putting the knife down, and it was diluted. Somebody else recently, I want to say it was Pav, was talking about other DNA samples that they had or mixtures that they had, but it was so small because I want to say it was diluted. So are these just things that are trying to be cleaned? Also, funny story, not story, but I was reading some of Payne's reports earlier and he spells Amido Black wrong. He doesn't even know how it's spelled. It's not that difficult. Thank you, Moto. Moto says, she says it on the 911 call, Hunter's knife DNA. Why do you think Bethany said Xana was wearing all black, right? That's when Dylan saw Xana laying on the floor. Yes. And that even matches with Dylan saying, now that's us believing what Dylan's saying. Dylan saying Kaylee went up the stairs, said somebody's here, and ran back down the stairs. How would she get back up on the 3rd floor then? And that she was the one crying in the bathroom. I would think you would know her voice. I would think you would know her cry. I would think that you would, since I feel like Dylan had, lured basically Kaylee back there. Please come to this dance with me. Please come to this dance with me, blah, blah, and then didn't even go. For some reason, I feel like it was a lure, and I feel like then she would have been paying attention to what Kaylee's doing, where Kaylee's at, right? So for her to say it was Kaylee, I feel like there could be some truth behind it, because I think she had more attention on Kaylee because I think it's a lure in the beginning. And if you listen to, who is it? Maybe Nunez, maybe Blake. I don't remember. But the person who Lana just did a video on it the other day. I'm just drawing a blank on what officer it was. When he went over to fill all the other officers in on what happened, the things he said is nothing that Dylan said. Dylan didn't say those things. He just made his own version and said that's what it was. But then every report after that for a little while was that it was Kaylee in Xana's room, which would make it then Xana upstairs or somebody else. Who knows? But it would be more logical to say they were just switched, and it would be more logical for that to be true since Hunter had Kaylee's red fluid on his fingers and tried to wash it off. Yeah, I think that he probably tried to. To me, his behavior when I very first saw it, I was like, I don't know. It could go either way for me. But then the more I watch it, the more I feel like his behavior is a little off to me. I'm not going to say he has anything to do with it or that he's lying. I'm just not going to say that because I don't know. But his behavior is a little bit off to me. The Chris Watts stance, the not showing any emotion or anything, but then when the cops arrive, now suddenly you're trying to catch your breath on the ground, like kneeling down almost. The fact that they walk in there, why would he pick up a knife and then when the cops get there, he suddenly doesn't have it anymore? It's almost like a guilty conscience, but for what? Fizzy. Payne still shops in the kids section. Does it really surprise you that he can't spell? Not really. I just like to point out his faults because ugh, that's why. uh, correct. There was no red fluid in that bathroom, either bathroom. Not even a latent. So I was thinking earlier and I was like, okay, we see evidence of a crime, but we know how many defensive wounds there were. So we're told it's hard for me at this point to even believe certain stuff, even an autopsy, because we were lied to about the toxicology. So it's hard for me to really believe it. I feel like they did put in here what they wanted to. If a medical examiner will lie about a toxicology, you guys, we know there was substances in at the very least, Anna's system. She has it laying out. Nobody's going to lay out their rugs and not do them. But to say that they didn't have rugs in their system is just a lie. So I start questioning things after that, even the autopsy. But if we had so many defensive wounds, where is the sense of a fight? I mean, you're fighting for your life. You have somebody coming at you or multiple people coming at you with a weapon we don't even know how many weapons. We know there was several probably because that's what the evidence shows. And there's no really evidence of any sort of fight. Even on the third floor where they say Kaylee was, putting up that fight. Well, the blankets aren't really messed up. I mean, I would think they would be everywhere. They're pulled up almost perfectly. Where was the fight? Where did all these defensive wounds come from? I would think it would be in the hallways. I would think it would be in the bathroom if that's where somebody was in there crying. Maybe it was Kaylee using the rugs and maybe because we know that it's been said by many, many friends that they were really into skiing, if you know what I mean. That's an interesting question. Pokey says, but who pressed Dylan to get Kaylee back to King Road? Who pressed her? Probably the person she's so scared to say did it. Yeah, I struggle with the crying in the bathroom. It doesn't make sense to me because wouldn't you then, as you're approaching them, you're obviously next to them, say, it's okay, I'm here to help you. And then what? You're just going to let them walk away into whatever room they feel like? No, there would have been red fluid in the bathroom as well. But we've got red fluid on every light switch in the house. So they're in there turning on and off lights that were already on. So that doesn't make sense. Who's going to walk into a house that is completely lit up? Not only with lights, overhead lights in the bedroom, but all those string lights outside and inside, but you don't even know the layout. You never even looked up the house. Crazy. Oh, the PCA is full of lies. Sometime I want to go back and just read the PCA again. Even just the small in-between words are lies. It's lies. Let's see. Oh my God, Payne reminds me of a Lego man. He does. Speaking of Payne and being short, did you guys see, I'm sure you did, it was a live, I think, that Birdie had on maybe 2 nights ago, and he was showing the Banfield, the pullover, the body cam of the, Rosie and Tesdall pulling over the guys in Banfield. And there's one view of the body cam, and the officer standing there literally comes up to like the boy's waist. And it's not Payne. Like the footage is messed with. And that brings me then back to the one where he showed where the car which is the girl at Linda Lane at 4:30 in the morning backing up. Never saw her come in. Came to check on her cats. Do you guys remember that story? That's her. That's her vehicle. And it's an SUV, I'm pretty sure. And it starts backing up and it looks like a car. And then as it starts to pull out, it then turns into like a van and then a truck. It ends up driving away like a Ford Explorer, like a SUV or a truck or something. Like the footage is definitely edited. I mean, cars can't shapeshift mid pullout, mid drive away. Yeah, it could have been. It could have been Kaylee's and not Xana's. But still, in the toxicology, they still lied and said that all they had was alcohol in their system, shown because they never showed us a report. They just told us that that's what the ME said, or tox. I think that's a really good point, Laura. Laura said, we don't actually know what kind of knife was used. It could have been a samurai sword for all we know. That's interesting you say that. And I know you guys all remember this video. I'm going to see if I can find it. I think I know who has it. And I want to know where this weapon is. I'm still like way late on chats. I'm getting to you guys. 1 second. Let me see. Let me see if I can find this short really quick. I know you guys know which one I'm talking about. The Fruit Ninja. Do you guys remember Fruit Ninja? Where's it at? Where did it go? Oh, I don't see it. I don't see it. 1 second. It might be down here. Yeah, that is true though. We don't have, just because there was a planted sheath there doesn't tell us what knife was used. And what's interesting about that is if we were, oh dang, I think I just saw it. If we were to go back, here it is. 1 second. If we were to go back and listen to Mabbitt, the coroner, she said the wounds did not even look like they were knife wounds, that they weren't cuts, they were gouges. They were wide laid open wounds. So I want to know where this weapon is. Huh, that's interesting. I just noticed the other side of it.
I've been trying not to go deep in. I don't think you wanna give me a reason. I've been trying not to go deep in. Think you wanna give me. I've been trying not to go deep in.
I want to know. I want to know where this weapon is at. They obviously have one. And I don't think their obsession is with ski masks, large knives, but everybody seemed to have them. It might just be because it's Idaho and hunting and whatever, but they all seem to have them, even the females. And they like carry them around to parties and stuff. Like it's weird because you can see random pictures at parties with people with ski masks and knives, and not all the time, sometimes not together, but where's that weapon at? I want to know where that one is. But yeah, you're right. Just because there was a K-bar knife sheath doesn't mean that's the knife that was there. And honestly, that would make sense to why we have a planted sheath and not a weapon. So they can say it's whatever weapon they want it to be, whatever fits their narrative, and it matches the sheath that was found. Crazy. Moto says, thank you. How could Molly tell the color of hair in a window if she couldn't even see the number of the house? Excellent point. Excellent point. And being a female, honestly, you would know when I wash my hair and it's wet, it's super dark. It could have been somebody with wet hair. You know what I mean? It could have been. And then for her to have the nerve to come out and say it was one of the victim's sisters because I saw the sister on the news and that's who it was. What? How can you see that? What's interesting to me as well about her not being able to see the numbers is she didn't even really walk or look hard enough or far enough to even see the number when she put her face on that camera. That's why to me it looks like she's purposely putting her, like she was hired to put her face on the camera so she could be the witness. And that happens, guys. There are lawyers that call people to pay them to be witnesses all the time. All the time. Yeah, she did, Andalion. Dylan looked so mad in that one picture in the blue wig. Yes. And that's the one, didn't one of the other girls put a song to it that was like a negative connotation type song? Happy birthday, Mandy. I think she left already. Well, I'm way behind. I'm way behind. All right, I'm catching up, guys. Oh, and did you hear when did we first see Dylan and Bethany? We first saw them on the 911 call that doesn't add up to what was actually said on 911. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Because the things said on 911 weren't said on the body worn camera or whatever it was. It's one of the ways. Sorry, my brain totally blipped out. There is a picture of Dylan holding a K-bar. Maybe the police never mind. I'm not even gonna say it because that's super conspiracy and that's super out there. Never mind. I'm not gonna say it. Yes, Steven, where you been? Oh, it could have been Xana's sister that she was implying, I guess, but either way, it's stupid. Like, how would you be able to see that? When a light is on behind, you're not going to be able to see somebody's face, right? It would look dark. You would see the stuff behind them, but from the view and what she's saying, it wouldn't look like that. Well, so they didn't technically have a defibrillator, but when whoever was on the phone said, yeah, we have one, it's because she asked the officer apparently that had walked up and he said he had one. But that brings me to another point. I was thinking earlier today, all the visuals we were given to make it look more dramatic and to convince us all more, this is what happened and these are the facts, when that very much could not have been the facts. Like, for instance, the red fluid on the back of the house, on the foundation that came out of the house. Apparently that was tested and it was red fluid. I don't know how. Wouldn't that be a biohazard? They had the team come in and clean it up and left that for what? For just visual drama? So I was sitting here thinking of all the things that were just for visual to paint the story to the general public, right? And it made me think of the EMTs. If the EMTs thought they were there for an unconscious person, why did they up the street and slowly walk their butts up? Like, with no equipment, no nothing. That was strange to me. To me, that was just like a visual, like, we have to have them come there so EMTs show up. BK's PhD proposal has been released. Part 1, him to go into a correctional setting long-term to conduct semi-structured questioning. Part 2, survey police on ethical digital evidence. No freaking way. Oh, I'm going to have to read it. That's insane. That's insane. So believable too. You know what's interesting is thank you for that. I'm going to look. Okay, what is it Pop's video today? I haven't watched it. I probably should. Oh, I have FOIA'd. I FOIA'd after everything was done, the sentencing and everything. I FOIA'd every single person on planet Earth that I think would have access or be able to, every department that would have the interview with Bryan Kohberger. You cannot tell me that none of these officers interviewed him or talked to him. However, if he is a Fed, would you need to talk to him because he's in on it, right? It doesn't exist. I didn't get a denial. I didn't get a runaround. I didn't get a wrong department, wrong people. I got what you're asking for does not exist. There is not one word apparently on camera spoken to Bryan Kohberger when he got arrested. Since when have you ever heard of that? You don't talk to a suspect at all? Even when you go to like YouTube channels where they play interrogations and stuff, you can even find the 5-minute ones where they say, "Give me my lawyer." There's no way it doesn't exist unless, of course, he's just a player. So I tried. You can't do that. You have to go through the municipal thing, and I think I talked about it before. I really tried that. I do have one other way that I'm looking into, but it's going to take a while because it's going to have to be like a survey type thing that I have to put together and pretend, and yeah. But I am looking into it still. No way. And Cy Ray has literally just started a class on training law enforcement and ethical digital evidence collection. Isn't that something that he's always done though? Yeah, I even FOIA'd the FBI because they said the FBI are the only people that talk to him. But I FOIA'd them. ISP, MPD, everywhere. I FOIA'd everywhere. I FOIA'd out in Pennsylvania when they took him to the little barracks thingy. I FOIA'd everything. They said it doesn't exist. It's wild. And it's crazy the answers we get for different FOIAs. There's a lot of us that have been denied or get the runaround for every FOIA we put in there. And it's simple things. They shouldn't be denied or give us the runaround at all or make us pay $23,000. Yeah, I'm starting to think he is. If you guys even, and it brings me to a movie, and the movie I don't think is true, but it's with Schwarzenegger and Rocky Balboa. I think it starts with an S. They're in prison together. And you can FOIA the FBI. Anyway, it reminds me of the movie with I just said who it was with, and one of them's like a plant and doing work trying to figure out how to escape every single prison in the United States or in the country or whatever. If you look at Bryan Kohberger's room or cell that he's in, I haven't been to prison or prison in Idaho or male prison or this prison, but the things that are in his cell are wild to me. I've never heard of it. I'm going to Google it so we can pull it up again. Sorry. Oops. Do you guys know where the PhD proposal is? I want to read it, but I don't want to have to dig forever. Let's see. And my question with Bryan Kohberger being in this prison, even though I think he got moved or whatever, but so they found the person who took the video of him illegally, but they can't figure out who leaked information. And in my opinion, they're just going to stop talking about the leak and hope that nobody else talks about it ever again either. They're not investigating a leak. Okay, cool. Thank you. Hungry says Pavarotti just showed Brian's study. Okay. I wonder where he got it. Interesting. I'm gonna have to look. But let me see if I can pull one up. Yeah, this one is fine. Oh shoot, I don't have Facebook. Maybe it'll let me play it. Oh, there we go. Hold on, I'm gonna show this again. What is this burner? This looks like Febreze, doesn't it? Like all on the screen, all the way to the right, the blue top. It looks like freaking Febreze. First of all, this cell looks kind of large to me. Like it's for yeah, like handicap accessible. It looks large. I don't know where he's getting. Hold on. Oh, his bed has wheels on it. I mean, I see like a lot of stuff that would be contraband, considered contraband. It doesn't even freaking look like Brian Kohberger. There was something, I think this was wider before. It showed other things. I remember seeing like that blanket. I don't know where he got a freaking checkered blanket from. They said that he had in medical, I don't know. Obviously not in a prison, but there were you could have less stuff in medical than freaking general population. It just looks weird to me. It looks big. Oh, I do see that bar though. It might be either medical or a handicap cell. They had to put me in a handicap cell a long time ago. Long time ago. Not because I was handicapped, but because I had a different case and had to be celled alone. I don't know why that just made me laugh. It does look like he's in a hospital. So let me stop sharing this. I'm going to share another screen that I think is funny, interesting, I guess. Hold on. I crack myself up. Okay, look at this. Whoops. I couldn't fit them all on here, but look at all of these pictures and he looks freaking different. And I promise you every single one of them. And then you compare that with the video. It just looks strange to me. Like it's not the same person. And then the one in prison doesn't look like the same person. And it's just very strange that we don't really have any information, pictures, video, nothing of Brian Kohberger when like the rest of his life. We have what, 3? What's wrong with me? It's a long story. I had to wear a different color, so I had to be housed separately. But it was only for like 3 days because then I got Lego. I've told you guys about, not the whole, I'll tell you the whole story someday, but not the, yeah. What? Birdie just did what? I haven't watched Birdie. I've been super busy the last 2 days. I haven't gotten to watch him yet. But yeah, he looks super different. It's wild to me. Like, this one that I have my thingy on compared to this one looks similar. It's probably small for you guys, but, or maybe here. Oh, that's better. So like the really young one, like I know he had a broken nose. What after that does not look like him at all. At all. Especially this one when he's really, really thin. The one where he's in the turtle suit looking thing. I don't know. It's something with the eyebrows. It's something, it's not bushy eyebrows, but I don't know what it is. The ear looks different. I don't know. It could just be the angle. It could be edited. This one looks similar to like these, but not these or this one. I don't know. It's just so strange to me. What was I going to say? I had something else. Now I can't remember. Does anybody know where I can find Nunez's warrant? I heard Lana reading it. I wasn't sure if it was something she FOIA'd or something she just got. I was trying to dig through all those documents today to find it, and I didn't end up having enough time. It's Kopacka in a Brian mask. You think he looks the same? I don't think he looks the same. I think especially in his like junior high school pictures. Now I know he had a different weight and a different haircut, but it just, those don't look the same at all to me, at all. Hi, Jeff H. Depending on the angle. And well, I figured, you know, and especially some of those, like the one in the hoodie that they had on Dateline was so edited, which I don't know why they need to do that, because they need to make him look like this horrible monster. That's interesting, Fizzy. That's kind of cool. I'm going to try it. I mean, obviously, if this is an assignment, or if he's a plant or a Fed or whatever, and they're going to do their, I mean, it's the FBI. They're going to do their best to have whatever pictures they put out look just like him. Even if they make it through AI now, it's going to look, you know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, like, to me, they just look so different all the time. It seems like he looks different. He looks different when he's got hair on his face. He look, you know. It's buried in the ISP docs. Dang, because I was going through all the MPD docs thinking it was there for some reason earlier today. I'm like, I cannot keep staring at this. Okay, I'm going to look up. I have a point with Nunez's warrant. I have a couple of points. And I know, what's her name? Lana at Truth and Transparency read it the other day, but I heard other things and noticed other things I wanted to talk about. Want to make sure and have the warrant in front of me. One thing that she did say that I noticed was super strange. In the warrant, they were treating this like it was a drug hit. The verbiage in it, they were treating it like it was a drug hit. And they specifically put in the warrant a knife sheath, that they were looking for a knife sheath along with drugs or rug activity, rug whatever, rug this, rug that, weapons and bombs and all. It was, yeah, I'm sure you guys have seen it, but it's really strange now that I go back and look at it or hear about it. Strange. That's what's interesting too. Yeah, Pumpkin, you're right. So Dylan said that the perp's voice was unfamiliar to her. She never heard it before, but then she said the whole time she thought it was JS, Showalter. Did they make her look at a six-pack with JS? I don't think they made her look at anything. Somebody had an interesting point. It might have been Birdie's channel. I don't remember, but it was recently, within the past couple of days, and I'm pretty sure it was Birdie. He said they never, or it might have been a caller or something that said they never asked any of those people, any of the roommates, any of the people, did you do this? Do you have any reason to commit this crime? Never. Not even that question. Don't they ask everybody that? Even Dylan saying over and over and over, before she would answer a question, she would say, I mean, I was really drunk. Well, why are you making excuses right off the bat? Why can't you just answer the question? And then she would say, I don't know what's real and what's not. It's just, it feels like a dream. I don't know what was a dream and what wasn't a dream. Well, a lot of people use that excuse when they are the ones who did it or were involved or had knowledge. A lot of the things she says does make her sound very guilty. I think a lot of people are with you on that, Jeff. Jeff says, I'm beginning to lean on the it's okay, I'm going to help you as being a memory of Dylan's from Vampire Diaries, season 8, episode 12. I think a lot of people think that. I know for a while I thought that. I feel like with some of this new information coming out, my brain is going in all different directions right now with all this other information, especially the red fluid, supposedly being diluted, and Kaylee's on Hunter's hand, like Pokey, be nice. Voto says, holy hell, Jeff is a changing man. I don't think we'd ever get Jeff on our side, but that's okay. Panda says if they hadn't torn the house down, they could have recreated that and see if that's what she heard. That house was torn down so purposefully, it's not even funny. Why is somebody donating a house to a university, first of all? Do we really think it was donated, or was that a backhand deal? Because the university needed that house torn down so people couldn't go in there, couldn't get evidence, couldn't recreate things. They could not have that house standing and have the case go to trial, which it wasn't going to, but had it, they couldn't have that house standing. No way. No way. I don't care how well you clean. You're not getting up under the floorboards and all sorts of stuff like that. So people would have been able to tell that there was or was not something that happened, and was or was not something that happened the way they're saying it happened. Now I went back and read something yesterday, and in the report it says Dylan stated he was 5'8". Well, let's remember he's on that step. She saw from where she was to where he was on and I went back and looked at the step, and it's not 2 to 3 inches. It's like 4 inches. So is it this Cruz guy or whatever his name is? Which I know it's not. I'm just saying, like, he doesn't sound like a 6-foot person to me. And Koberger surely isn't a basketball player. Oh, I should have added Stacy Chapin to my list of people that got awards and moved up in the world after this crime. Stacy, the Chapin still say 2 a.m. is the devil's hour or the dark hour or whatever they say. Brian Nothing Burger. I love these. Who has them? I can't remember who has them. These Idaho 4 songs that are just recently coming out. I love them. I think they sound great. Well, okay. So first, this comment says, I thought she said he was taller than her. So first, she said in her very first statement, which was on body cam, said he was either a little bit higher or lower than me, meaning taller or shorter. She said he could have been like 5'8" or 6 foot, or a little bit lower or a little bit taller. So then the officer says, okay, so like 6 foot. And then Dylan says, yeah. And then after that, she never said he was like 5'8" or could have been shorter than me ever again. And it was then in every report that he was about 6 foot. But I did find one report that states 5'8". But he was still on that step. So if she says he's 5'8" and then she's still 4 inches shorter or 3 inches shorter than that or whatever it is, I would say closer to 4, it looked like this step, then he's even shorter than that. Obviously, it's like she's giving a guesstimate. So he could be 5'6", 5'8", 5'9", who knows? But at one point, she did say he could be a little bit taller or shorter than me. Hey, Scala. Let me see. I don't think I have much else. I just wanted to talk about some of these weird things. On Friday, I should have some interesting stuff because I'm going to be super digging into some of this. I will bring if I find some interesting stuff in the, oh my God, what do we just call it? Proposal thing, the PhD proposal thing, then we can definitely talk about that. I might make a pre-recorded, maybe tomorrow. This whole restitution thing drives me nuts. I cannot believe they're arguing over $3,000. It drives me nuts. I have many things to say on that, but it's not very entertaining. You know, they made a point that said, well, he had 5 figures put on his books at one point. Well, yeah, but you don't know if that 5 figures has to last him for 3 years with his commissary. Commissary is inflated like 600% compared to the rest of the world. It's so expensive. If he had, they said, oh, it could be anywhere from $10,000 to $99,000. Yeah, it could be, but if it's $10,000, how long is that going to last him when Jolly Ranchers are $97 a bag? Sorry. And they did say that the only people that spoke to BK was the FBI. That nobody from Moscow ever said a word to him. Nobody from ISP ever said a word to him. Just the FBI. Weird, huh? Hey, Big Mikey. Very, very weird. Oh, yeah, I do have it written down. I don't remember who, was it you, Fizzy, that said that? Or somebody else that I have it written down? Did Kopacka have arm tattoos and drive a Harley? Or have access to a Harley? Yep, and this warrant. Yeah, I really want to talk about this warrant again because there's quite a few things in there. Oh, apparently Kopacka's unaliving was at 3:58 a.m. I don't know if you guys knew the exact time, but I found that kind of coincidental. Really? The same time you say the other crime was? That's weird. Yep, and then the hit and run stuff. No proof of a fight. That's pretty much it. I'm going to look up that stuff. Okay. So if you guys want to just chit chat about anything in particular, go ahead and throw it in the chat. Otherwise, I don't have much else for you today. I should have quite a bit on Friday though, because I've got this spreadsheet just a going. Yeah, Fizzy. Yeah, I had that written down. They said, did Kopacka have arm tattoos and drive a Harley or have access to one? In Tennessee, inmates got supplies at cost so cheaper than it. No way, really? Oh my gosh, yeah. I remember just wanting those Jolly Ranchers. I did get released before my Jolly Ranchers came, and you bet your ass I went to that jail and got my Jolly Ranchers. I paid $7 for, or whatever it was, $9. I was pissed. I mean, prisons are a business. They're all a business. So every phone call, they make money. You know what I mean? Like it's a domino. Every single thing you do in prison is a dollar sign. And every person in prison is a dollar sign to that prison because every person in there gets a certain amount of funds for, you guys know. You guys know. It's a business. Jeff H. could never brainwash Bronxy. Bronxy is 10 toes down. Although Bronxy might think that Brian Koberger is a Fed at this point. There's just something more to it. I just don't know what it is yet. I think that's why we're all still here. Yeah. Isn't that ridiculous? I think they should still get paid enough to be able to support yourself in prison. I'm not saying like $1,000, but my goodness, 27 cents? Couldn't pay me. Not 27 cents. Really? That's so funny, Jeff. Jeff says in my notes, I'm showing Kopacka was unalived at 4:22. I just had this document up. I think I typed over it though. I said 3:58 in the document. Who knows? I used to be. Not anymore. I don't like jail. I don't like jail. I want to be free. I don't want to. No, I went through like I'm going to do whatever I want, whenever I want, YOLO type of thing. Yeah, I'm not totally sold, Fizzy. There's just so many things that like it could point to you know what I'm saying? It could point to that, but I'm not fully there yet. I still think that there's something with the case itself. And I feel like if he was a Fed, logically, they would have, to get him in prison and convicted much easier to do his assignment in prison, they would have just put his DNA all over it. Oh, that's crazy. No, I would not hate you. All the officers I had to deal with were super cool. They let me keep my phone. They let me, when I was in holding, they let me use their personal cell phone to call out because the number they gave me wasn't working. One of the cops took a picture of me sitting on top of his car, handcuffed. Like, it was just silly. It was silly. It was really silly. I'm like, I will make it fun. And then I went in there and I braided hair and did eyebrows and laughed, and then I was out before I knew it. Can't hold me down. Big Mikey says, from talking to a Fed, I do believe Brian is a Fed. You should have been here earlier for our little conversation. There's kind of some stuff going on where a lot of people are starting to think he is. I'm not fully there yet. I just feel like if he was, logically, they would have had him with the knife. You know what I mean? Like, they would have made it so evident that it was him that did it to get him into prison much easier to do his assignment if that's what he was going in there for. Logically, that's what I feel like. But I was driving on a suspended license. It still to this day should have never been suspended, but it was old and it was stupid. I mean, I did it more than once as well, so that's why. And then I didn't show up to court for my ticket. Just go to court when you get a ticket, okay? You won't go to jail and have to braid hair and do eyebrows. Fizzy, is there one particular thing that makes you think this is why he could not be a Fed? Like I just said, mine would be they would have just made it easier to show he was the one that did it, right? I do think that's an interesting thought. Thanks, Top. My eyebrow pencil ran out and I had to use a different one. Today, I'm telling you, today is not my day. I'm just trying to make the best of it. Some of the things, so Kat says, I'm on the fence too. A Fed, it's just a bit far reaching right now. Some of the things would make sense if I didn't have the other things to fall back on to say, like, that doesn't make sense. What I'm saying is this whole like PhD proposal thing that he wrote to get into prisons to do, and then the NIJ study, like, okay, that could make sense. That could work. That could fit. But I just think they would have him with the knife. They would have his red fluid there. It would be way more clear that he did it. So even if he did have to face a jury, he would get into prison like he's trying to get in as being a Fed to conduct his studies. They didn't make it that easy, so much so that so many people think he didn't do it. So that's why I don't think yet that I can get there and think he's a Fed yet. I do think it's strange that only the FBI talked to him and there's no proof of it. How do you arrest this suspect in this case and you don't have a body-worn camera when you question him, or a tape recorder, or a camera in the barracks holding thing? No way. No way. What if he did talk? What if he did say something? You don't have it? Yeah. Or would be a totally different person. They put a the person they would make up would be completely fake. And it would show when you look them up. Fizzy says because they wouldn't They wouldn't just show him to us if he was. They tend to protect themselves from everything I've ever seen on them. They don't seem to expose themselves. Yeah. That makes sense to me. And if it was a study, they wouldn't tell us it's a study, right? Which now that it's coming out, like I guess you guys said that it's on Pop's channel. I haven't seen it yet. I have to go watch it. Now that it's coming out that there's this thing where he is trying to get into prison, you know, he was trying to get into the police force, things like that. Like that wouldn't even come out. They have bigger, better resources than to let stuff like that come out. Which goes to show you that they have bigger, better resources than you can figure out where the leak came from, which was so on purpose. And then to not give Ann Taylor any extra time to combat that, like, I don't think we know for certain. Jeff says, do we know for certain they don't have body cam video of when they talked to Brian after arrest? Maybe it'll be released to the public eventually. They're going in reverse order with releases. I know that I myself and so many other people have asked for it. I know they told me it doesn't exist, and it wasn't just with one place. I think I got like 3 of them back that said it didn't exist. We don't have anything like that. That never happened. I think other people said that. I don't know who exactly said it or if I would even trust everything they say. I don't know because I don't know them, but they said they asked and were told the only people that spoke to him was the FBI, and they don't have any audio or video on it. I do think eventually we'll get something. They have a picture. Didn't they tell us they didn't even have a picture? Well, we ended up getting a picture of him sitting there. He's sitting in a chair, hands behind his back, with an officer in front of him. I think it's like an army person too. But you're trying to tell me you don't have a camera on that person that you arrested? That you then, you know, like, big deal? Like, no? Okay. I don't believe that. I would think there would be something. They would have charged him with something different than a Yeah, exactly. When Jules' FOIA was answered, they told her the FBI said they had the interview, but they said, nope, not getting it. Interesting. Maybe it's timing. Because I did mine literally maybe a week after sentencing, I think. My nose is stuffy. Sorry. It sounds annoying. I did mine maybe a week or so after sentencing, thinking at that point it would be fine. And then I did it again closer to when they were unsealing stuff, thinking, okay, maybe now I'll get it. It told me it doesn't exist. They don't have anything like that. So maybe that she did it just as of lately. Maybe she'll get something. I don't know. I also think somebody who has been FOIA-ing stuff for a long time, they'll probably be more inclined to understand what they're asking for and give it to them because they see their name all the time, possibly, who knows, or has been seeing their name all the time. Whereas I come in and I'm new and they don't recognize the name, they're not going to give me anything. Because one time somebody called me from the police station in Moscow and talked with me about some of my requests, and I was explaining it, and then they were trying to ask exactly what I was asking for, and I told them. She was like, okay, and then I never got even a boo from it. Not even a no, we don't have this, or denied. I didn't get anything from it. That was it. They just closed it out. I was like, oh my God, this is impossible. Yes, guys, Tommy Jude has apparently passed away. That's what we learned. AR was in here earlier. So yes, Jeff, it's apparently true. AR let us know. I think Translucent let us know. They were in here earlier and said that Tommy passed. I played one of his shorts. We had a moment of silence. I know he was going into the hospital or was going in for something. I reached out to him and just said, you know, thinking of you, good luck, you know, whatever. I don't even know what he was going through. Somebody said possibly lung cancer. Don't quote me. I have no idea if that's true. But yes, he has passed apparently. Very sad. Tommy, Ren, you're the best. Tommy now knows all the 14 secrets. Idaho 4 secrets. I said 14. Idaho 4 secrets. That's sad, though. It's sad. Yeah. We had a moment of silence and played a little video. Really, Big Mikey? I love Tommy. Tommy and Outcast were the first people that were so inviting to me when I first came onto YouTube. It was at the same time, it was both of them. And I felt welcomed in the community super fast because of them. They played my content and would mention my name in their lives and things like that. And it was just really helpful to just getting a foot in the door. And Tommy was really kind. And every time I was in his chat, he would say hi. And, he's just a really kind guy. Oh, geez. Lung cancer that spread to his liver. Yeah. Why he went in the hospital. Yeah. I didn't want to say, I know somebody mentioned that, but I didn't want to say that because I still don't even know that for sure that it's lung cancer. So I don't want to be the person on a live spreading false info, but man, it's just crazy. He's just so nice. That's a really good point. Really puts things into perspective when people leave nasty, rude comments or messages to people. I mean, I think we all get them. It's just like, I don't understand. And I think a lot of you don't understand it either, because it seems like in this community, when somebody disagrees with us, we like the banter. We want to pick their brain, but we're not mean to them. But it seems like a lot of guilters are very unkind to us, which is fine, whatever. But they leave mean comments and they say horrible things. And I couldn't imagine being a grown adult, getting on the internet behind a keyboard and trying to tear somebody down. Like, that's bad juju. I don't even want that. I don't understand why people are like that. Yeah, to leave hateful comments on somebody who nobody knows anybody who's doing anything on the internet in real life. You don't know the things people are going through. I get it. Yeah. He will very much be missed for sure. It's crazy to think we'll never do another live or put out another video. Aw. His last live, he said he was going to the hospital and said goodbye and thank you to everyone in chat. Are they, Jeff? Maybe they're just nice to us because we're in the same community. We think the same, right? I just don't often see a lot of hateful comments when I'm on even guilters pages. And, sometimes I check their pages for information or to hear what they're talking about or what their story is or what they believe, so I can feed off of that. A lot of time, yeah, I haven't seen any like rude comments from pro burgers either, but I don't obviously go searching for them either. Really, Fizzy? Fizzy says, I agree, both sides can be bad. It's probably just because the most I see is in our own community, so, but yeah, getting some nasty comments from guilters is definitely quite entertaining. I'm like, you don't want to do that. I'll violate your whole life with my mouth. No, you don't want to do that. I'm sorry, Big Mikey. It sucks. All right, guys. It's late, kind of. I have more sirens. I'm going to take Bronxy to the park. And when I excuse me, geez. When I get back on Friday, I should have quite a bit of stuff because I'm looking into some stuff. Deep stuff. Oh, it's died down since the plea. Well, I would think a lot of the guilters pretty much got what they wanted, right? They got what they wanted. She is. She is. All right, guys. Thanks to everybody. Thanks for all the super chats and stickers. I appreciate everybody. We'll be back on Friday with some more deep information because I'm diving, guys. I'm diving tonight. I'm diving tomorrow. All right, guys. Everybody have a wonderful evening. Be safe. Do something kind for yourself. Be kind, but more importantly, be kind to your animals.